Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Prostrations to Ramana, shining as the Self in all beings. We commence today's satsang with a prayer by Srimati Sapna Ganesh. This will be followed by the chanting of Muktaka trayam.
दक्षिणामूर्तिसारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमां रमणाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् शुक्लां वरदरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये आङ्गिकं भुवनं यस्य वाचिकं सर्ववाङ्मयम् आहार्यं चन्द्रतारादि तं नमः सात्विकं शिवम् ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय. नमो रमणा to everyone.
एकमक्षरम् हृदि निरन्तरम् भासते स्वयं लिख्यते कथम् हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रम् ह्यहमहमिति साक्षात् आत्मरूपेण भाति. हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वता मज्जता वा पवनचलनरोधा आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्. देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकम् अहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्ततभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मना सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयम्. सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयम्. Namo Ramana. We will now have the chanting of Upadesa Saram by Uma Shripati. Namo Ramana. वायुरोधनात् लीयते मना जालपक्षिवद्रोदसीदृशः साधनं चित्तवायवा चित्क्रियायुताः शाखयोर्द्वयी शक्तिमूलका लयविनाशने उभयरोधने लयगतं पुनर्भवति नोऽमृतम् प्राणबन्धनात् लीनमानसम् एकचिन्तना नाशमेत्यद नष्टमानसो उत्कृष्टयोगिना कृत्यमस्ति किं स्वस्तितिं यत दृश्यवारितं चित्तमात्मना चित्वदर्शनं तत्त्वदर्शनं मानसं तु किं मार्गणे कृते नैव मानसं मार्ग आर्जवात् वृत्तयस्त्वहं वृत्तिमाश्रिताः वृत्तयो मनो विद्यहं मन अहमयं कुतो भवति चिन्वत ऐपतत्यहं निजविचारणम् अहमिनाशभाज्यहमहं तया स्फुरति हृत्स्वयं परमपूर्णस नमो रमण Namo Ramana. We will now have 3 songs presented from Ramananjali Sangeetam. The first one will be by Srimati V. Radha. The second one will be by Savitri Krishnan and Sri Jaisriram Krishnan. And the third one will be by Revathi Shankar.
Namo Ramana to all. Today I'm taking a song written by Sri S.P. Pillai. The original is in Tamil and the Telugu translation is by Y.V. Venkateshwara Rao and the music is by Sri S. Rangarao. Jayamu Ramana Jayamu Ramana Jaya Jaya ani paadare Jayamu Ramana Jaya Jaya ani paadare Jayamu Ramana charanamulaku jayamani koniyadare Jayamu Ramana charanamulaku jayamani koniyadare Jayamu Ramana Jaya Jaya ani paadare మనసు నిలుపు విధుల తెలుపు పాదములకు జయం జయం మనసు నిలుపు విధుల తెలుపు పాదములకు జయం జయం స్వవిచార పదము చూపు పదద్వైకి జయం జయం స్వవిచార పదము చూపు పదద్వైకి జయం జయం జయము రమణ జయ జయ అని పాడరే జయము రమణ చరణములకు జయమని కొనియాడరే భక్తజనుల పాలి కల్పతరువు రమణ ఋషికి జయం భక్తజనుల పాలి కల్పతరువు రమణ ఋషికి జయం అహము గూల్చి ఆత్మ తెలుపు గురువరుణకు జయం జయం అహము గూల్చి ఆత్మ తెలుపు గురువరుణకు జయం జయం రమణ మహారుషికి జయం 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 గురువరుణకు జయం జయం గురువరుణకు జయం జయం గురువరుణకు జయం జయం గురువరుణకు జయం జయం నమో రమణ ತಂದೆ ನೀನೇ ತಾಯಿ ನೀನೇ ಬಂಧು ಬಳಗವು ನೀನೇ ರಮಣ ತಂದೆ ನೀನೇ ತಾಯಿ ನೀನೇ ಬಂಧು ಬಳಗವು ನೀನೇ ರಮಣ ಎಂದೆಂದು ನೀಚರಾಚರಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಆಸರೆಯಾಗಿ ದೈವಿ ಕರುಣ ಎಂದೆಂದು ನೀಚರಾಚರಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಆಸರೆಯಾಗಿ ದೈವಿ ಕರುಣ ಭಾವಯೋಗ್ಯವು ನೀನೇ ರಮಣ ಭಾವಯೋಗ್ಯವು ನೀನೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾರ್ಗವೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಿನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಮಾರ್ಗವೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ತಂದೆ ನೀನೇ ತಾಯಿ ನೀನೇ ಬಂಧು ಬಳಗವು ನೀನೇ ರಮಣ ವೇದ ನುಡಿಸಿ ರುದ್ರನ ಮೋದಗೊಳಿಸುವ ಸಾಧುವರರ ಗುರುನಾದ ಮೂರ್ತಿಯೇ ವೇದ ನುಡಿಸಿ ರುದ್ರನ ಮೋದಗೊಳಿಸುವ ಸಾಧುವರರ ಗುರುನಾದ ಮೂರ್ತಿಯೇ ಧ್ಯಾನಿಯದೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಲ್ಲನೆ ಸುಳಿದು ಬಾನಿನ ಗಲಕು ಬೆಳಗುವ ಕೀರ್ತಿಯೇ ಧ್ಯಾನಿಯದೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಲ್ಲನೆ ಸುಳಿದು ಬಾನಿನ ಗಲಕು ಬೆಳಗುವ ಕೀರ್ತಿಯೇ ತಂದೆ ನೀನೇ ತಾಯಿ ನೀನೇ ಬಂಧು ಬಳಗವು ನೀನೇ ರಮಣ ತಂದೆ ನೀನೇ ತಾಯಿ ನೀನೇ ಬಂಧು ಬಳಗವು ನೀನೇ ರಮಣ ನೀನೇ ರಮಣ ನೀನೇ ರಮಣ ನಮೋ ರಮಣಾಯ ನಮೋ ರಮಣಾಯ ನಮೋ ರಮಣಾಯ ನಮೋ 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 ರಮಣಾಯ ನಮೋ ರಮಣಾಯ ನಮೋ ರಮಣಾಯ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ರೂಪಮಿಲಾಯ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಮತ ಗುರು ರೂಪಮೆತ್ತೋಯ್ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಶಿಖರಮೆ ನಿಂತಿರುಮೇನಿ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ವಡಿವ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ತಾವಮೆಲ್ಲಾವಿನುಂ ತಾವ ಮುಡಿವಾಯ್ ಲಪಿತ್ತರಮಣ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ಲಿಂಗಾಕಾರ ಹೃದಯ ಪರಾತ್ಮ ಲಿಂಗರೂಪಾಯ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ವರದಾಭಯಕರ ಬಳಿವಾಯನ್ನರು ಗುರುದೇವಾಯ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ பாரண ஆனனாகிய நுள்தடை வாதனை தீர்ப்போய் நமோ 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 ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ 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 ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ நமோ ओम नमो भगवते श्री
Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. Bhagavan's name Ramana was given by Ganapati Muni, and that is the Taraka Nama for us. Because when you say Ramana, here Sadhvam Swami says, he removes the fear of death from us. Bhagavan himself won over the fear of death, and thus he makes us also take away the fear of death from our lives also, just by taking his name. Many people say Ramana is the opposite of Marana. Not really opposite, but when you play with the words, the Marana goes away when you are thinking of the name Ramana. He is the Lord of Arunachala. By his sidelong glance, Bhagavan takes away any fear in us. He takes away the highest fear, which is the fear of death. If that fear is going away from our lives, then the other fears need not matter. And when I call his name, Ramana, as Guru, There is tears in my eyes because when I can call him as a guru, it means that he has accepted me as a shishya. When I am his devotee, what else can I ask for more than that? Bhagavan, when he is in my life, I should not be asking anything. What does that mean? That means that no thought should arise when I am thinking of Bhagavan. When he is in my heart, in my mind, in my that temple within me, then why should there any thoughts arise from me? It means that when he is there within me, that is the abode of knowledge. It means that he has given his own state to me. That time is the time when I realize that I am no more there. Only he is there. When he is there, then I need not worry about anything at all. And when he is there in that temple, where does there arise any Maya? If I pay attention to him, there will not be any Maya or any thought arising. And there is peace, there is joy, there is bliss. Just by chanting his name, it takes us into the self, into our own nature, into the aham within ourselves. The self reveals when we chant his name with devotion and with lot of surrender. I present to you a song written by Sadhuam Swami. The Kannada lyric translation is by R.N. Gopal. Music is by Y.N. Sharma. ರಮಣಾಯನೆ ಕರೆದಾಗ ಮರಣ ಭಯ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ರಮಣಾಯನೆ ಕರೆದಾಗ ಮರಣ ಭಯ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮರಣ ಭಯ ಇನ್ನು ಎಂದೇ ಗುರು ರಮಣಾಯನೆ ಕರೆದಾಗ ಮರಣ ಭಯ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮರಣ ಭಯ ಇನ್ನು ಎಂದೇ ಅರುಣಾಚಲದ ಪ್ರಭುವೆ ಆ ನಿನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣ ನೋಟ ಅರುಣಾಚಲದ ಪ್ರಭುವೆ ಆ ನಿನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣ ನೋಟ ನನ್ನತ ಬೀರಿದರೆ ಭಯ ನೀಗಿತು ಬಾಳಲಿಂದು ಗುರುವೇಯನೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಕರೆದಾಗ ನಾಲಿಗೆಯು ಗುರುವೇಯನೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಕರೆದಾಗ ನಾಲಿಗೆಯು ಕಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಿ ತಿಂದು ಆನಂದದ ಬಿಂದು ರಮಣಾಯನೆ ಕರೆದಾಗ ಮರಣ ಭಯ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮರಣ ಭಯ ಇನ್ನು ಎಂದೇ ಮನವನ್ನು ಮೀರಿಸಿದ ಸುಜ್ಞಾನ ನೆಲೆಯಾಗಿ ಮನವನ್ನು ಮೀರಿಸಿದ ಸುಜ್ಞಾನ ನೆಲೆಯಾಗಿ ತನ್ನನ್ನು ಅಂತಂತ ವೇಳೆ ತನ್ನನ್ನು ಅರಿತಂಥ ವೇಳೆ ಅದೇ ನಿನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ತಂಥ ವೇಳೆ ಮನವೆಂಬ ಗುಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಾಗ ಪ್ರಭು ನೀನು ಮನವೆಂಬ ಗುಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಾಗ ಪ್ರಭು ನೀನು ಮಾಯಕ್ಕೆ ತಾಣವೆಲ್ಲಿ ಹೃದಯಕ್ಕೆ ಶಾಂತಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಮಣಾಯನ ಕರೆದಾಗ ಮರಣ ಭಯ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮರಣ ಭಯ ಇನ್ನು ಎಂದೇ ಗುರು ರಮಣಾಯನ ಕರೆದಾಗ ಮರಣ ಭಯ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮರಣ ಭಯ ಇನ್ನು ಎಂದೇ. Namo Ramana. We will now have the reading and sharing from the book Bhagavan Ramana, Resplendent Sun, Angles of Vision by Sri Nandakumarji.
Namo Ramana. In this, the book reading segment of our satsang, we continue our readings from Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, The Resplendent Sun, Angles of Vision by our founder president, Shri A.R. Natarajanji. We had covered the article contributed by Shri A.R. Natarajanji covering the whole of the teachings, and we are presently in the article contributed by our president, Dr. Sarada. Listen, the heart is calling. Listen, the heart is calling. Let us backtrack a little bit so that we get some perspective. We are scared of everywhere and always. Bhagavan of course says, after all, the heart is everywhere, its light is everywhere, its song is everywhere. We can find it wherever we wish to, anywhere, anytime. Great news? Apparently not. And we continue from there. We are scared of everywhere and always. We decide that what is everywhere is confusing. What is in a particular place, on the other hand, is fine. We can find it there, we can hunt for it and track it out. We are quite prepared to climb mountains, ride seas, cross deserts to find the hidden marvelous treasure. But let someone tell us that the treasure is all around us, within us, everywhere, and our reaction will only be one of disgust. Treasure? All around, everywhere? That's ridiculous. All around is no treasure, but the daily, regular, humdrum world that I have been seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, tasting, day in and day out. This is no treasure. And within us, true, the functioning of the human body is a major miracle in a sense. But that's no treasure either. It's commonplace, just the same in millions of others down through the ages. All this cannot be the treasure of treasures, the heart, the self. It ought to be something very, very special. Besides, something that is everywhere carries no significance for me. It's not particular, not unique to me, and hence I don't find it of interest. The earth is everywhere. It is our mother. It nurtures us, gives us food and shelter naturally. But no, that does not satisfy us. We must draw boundaries, fence in a piece of land and call it ours, mine. Then alone are we happy. Having limited ourselves to a given form, we care only for those things which bear a specific relationship to that form. Better still, which are possessed by that form. It does not matter to us that we cannot ever really possess the earth. We cannot carry it away with us everywhere, anywhere, least of all when we leave this abode for good. What we at best possess is only a piece of paper, giving us the right to use that land. Nonetheless, it is possession alone which renders anything and everything meaningful to us, be it land or love. The heart is where the eye is. So from everywhere to a particular spot, the heart is where the eye is. So in his infinite compassion, Bhagavan recognizes that we will never bother to hear the call of the heart that is resounding everywhere. We are in effect telling him, stop kidding us and confusing us by abstract terms like everywhere, which we cannot understand. Tell us where the heart is, and then perhaps we can try getting tuned to it and caring for us as he does. Despite all our indifference, our beloved Sadguru Ramana comes down to us as it were. He says, fine, have it your way. Do you want to know where the heart is? Well, the answer is simple, very simple. The heart is where the eye is. Bhagavan says, fine, have it your way. Do you want to know where the heart is? Well, the answer is simple, very simple. The heart is where the eye is. Seems simple, as he says, doesn't it? It should be. After all, which of us could say that we don't know where the eye is? We are. Each one of us is living only with an eye, is it not? Indeed, without the eye, there is no life for us. So, we must surely be knowing all about it. What it's like, its shape and color, its temperament and tenement, its comings and goings. Hey, does it come and go? Does it change? Does it grow? My body grows. Do I grow with it? My body decays. Do I decay with it? Does every change in my body bring about a change in the I, in me, as I believe myself to be? No, not really. Indeed, not at all. I may or may not change with the transformations in my body. So I am independent of it. Akka has taken us to a spot where one has delinked or freed the I from the changes of the body. But then the discussions continue, the clarifications continue. Where do we feel the sense of the I? The I does change sometimes, doesn't it? Like what? Sometimes it's angry, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's naughty, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's dull, and sometimes it's glad. Sometimes it wants to speak in rhymes, and at other times in plain prose, and sometimes it wants not to speak at all, but just stay morose. We can see the poet in Akka coming through for us. Gosh, so many changes, or it should be gosh, so many changes. Sometimes I love, sometimes I hate, sometimes I try to be on time. At others, I couldn't care if I were late. And so it goes from moment to moment, from time to time. Yesterday, today, why? All the time. Hey, wait a minute. If I am changing all the time, what is this thing called I? Is I love or is I hate? Is I discipline or is I always being late? So from the body's changes, the I has been delinked, but we seem to be linked. and changing with love, hate, discipline, indiscipline, and other things of the other qualities of the mind. Besides, how does one recognize something to be I if it is changing every minute? Who can even say there is change if there isn't something which itself unchanging is able to perceive the change, an unchanging point of reference with which change can be measured? This is one of the key points in Bhagavan's teachings. So let me read as Akka takes us through that key point. That to say that something is changing, you should have an unchanging center. Otherwise, what is the degree of change, or whether it is really changing or not? If you are yourself shifting, is that movement due to your movement or not? How do you know? We have seen that in the train platform. When our train also starts moving and some other train in the next platform is also moving, there is a lot of confusion in us as to which is moving and which is still. So when both are relatively moving, it's not possible to measure change, isn't it? So that's what Bhagavan and Akka are bringing to us. Besides, how does one recognize something to be the I if it is changing every minute? Who can even say that there is change if there isn't something which itself unchanging is able to perceive the change and unchanging point of reference with which change can be measured? So really speaking, I don't change. Not at all. Never. This is some point that we have to clarify for ourselves, that the I is something not changing. So whenever there is a change, we should inquire for whom is the change. For me, who am I, brings us to the unchanging I. So really speaking, I don't change. Not at all. Never. It's my ideas that change. My attitudes, my emotions, my approaches. And since I go on unchanging, I can easily observe and note all the changes. So coming back to the point, where does this I belong? Where do we feel our sense of I always? Does it have a place, an unchanging place in our body to which we can relate and which we could then understand to be the seat of the heart? We have said that Bhagavan in his compassion has showed us such a place. Where is it? Where in the body do we naturally feel the sense of I, of individuality? In our feet, in our hands, in our stomach, in our eyes, in the nose which breathes, in the head which we believe thinks. When we proudly say, I have done this, I wrote that, I am here, I, where does the hand point to? When you say I, where does the hand point to? By what do we indicate ourselves? Bhagavan answers this question too. We say I, even the child says I, by placing the right palm on his right chest. Even the child says I, by placing the right palm on the right chest. This then is the seat of the heart within us. This is the natural experience corroborated by each and everyone's spontaneous expression. So a complete clarity is given that heart is the source of the I, and it can be felt in the right side of the chest. Turning in, the seat of the unchanging sense of I in us cannot be any of the physical organs. Not the blood pumping heart to the left that is popularly mistaken to be the house of love and other emotions. So this is a popular thought in prose, poetry and literature, that the physical heart is the source of all our love and other emotions. But that's not true. The seat of the unchanging sense of I in us cannot be any of the physical organs. not the blood pumping heart to the left that is popularly mistaken to be the house of love and other emotions. The heart may ache, but the eye goes on unbroken. The heart may fade, but not so the infinite heart, which in great tenderness has made a home in everybody. The physical heart may be changed altogether through a transplant. Would that change one's sense of I, our likes and loves, our ideas and predilections? No. So the source of the I is not any physical organ whatsoever. It is a spiritual center which, however, in its compassion, expresses itself in a physical location specifically. So the source of the I is not any physical organ whatsoever. The source of the I is a spiritual center which, however, in its compassion, expresses itself in a physical location specifically. Why? The question is often asked, why we must give a locale to that which is by nature boundless? Because, as we have seen, we fail to relate to that which is non-specific. Bhagavan Ramana says, therefore, that so long as we believe we are limited to a given form, we need to relate to the heart in a center within that form. The fact that we do so does not in any way negate the infinite nature of the heart either. It is like getting tuned to a song in a transistor. So this place here is indicated so that we can fine-tune ourselves to the bandwidth. It is like getting tuned to a song in a transistor. The song, of course, is present in the sound waves right through. We search for a particular station where we can hear the song. In the beginning, we may catch snatches of the song as we pass the tuner back and forth near the specific station. The beauty of these sentences can be enjoyed by the previous generation like us, I feel, where we had those old radios where we would adjust the band, the megahertz and other things. We search for a particular station where we can hear the song. In the beginning, we may catch snatches of the song as we pass the tuner back and forth near the specified station. Gradually, the song is heard, but still other stations are also audible. Then a fine-tuning takes place. Only the song is heard, clear, sweet. There are no longer any disturbances. Now the tuner, even the transistor, becomes irrelevant. The song alone is. The song is not in the transistor. Surely not in the particular place in the transistor where we tuned into it with so much care. So the body becomes irrelevant. The place in the body where we have tuned, it becomes irrelevant because we have now identified with the universal. So beautifully it has been described. Gradually the song is heard, but still other stations are also audible. Then, as fine-tuning takes place, only the song is heard. Clear, sweet, the Aham Spurana is only heard. There are no longer any disturbances. Now even the tuner, even the transistor becomes irrelevant. In the Aham Spurana that we did self-enquiry, we did so many sadhanas, all that gets vanished. The song alone is. The song is not in the transistor. Surely not in the particular place in the transistor where we tuned to it with so much care. The song is in the air. It is indeed everywhere. It may be heard by anyone, anywhere in the world. But for me to hear it, I had to first find it in a specific place. I had to make the effort to tune in there. Because I am not everywhere and I do not have the capacity to hear the song except through the transistor. If I do, then I need not bother to tune in to the specific station. Since I don't have that capacity, if I wish to hear the song, I must tune into it. I'll read this part again. The song is not in the transistor, surely not in the particular place in the transistor where we tuned into it with so much care. The song is in the air. It is indeed everywhere. It may be heard by anyone, anywhere in the world. But for me to hear it, I had to first find it in a specific place. I had to make the effort to tune in there because I am not everywhere and I do not have the capacity to hear the song except through the transistor. If I do, then I need not bother to tune in to the specific station. If I don't, if I wish to hear the song, I must tune in to it. The universe is in the heart. The last part, the universe is in the heart. And then, of course, the song alone is. Here and there do not matter any longer. As Bhagavan says, one then recognizes that it is not the self which is in the body, it is not the heart that is within the body, that on the right side of the chest. The entire universe is within the heart. The entire universe is in that I. As Bhagavan says, one then recognizes that it is not the self which is within the body. It is not the heart that is within the body. The entire universe is within the heart. However, before one becomes steadily aware of this, one must make the effort to listen to the call of the heart, which dances ever as pure bliss, as boundless love and peace, which sings ever as I, to make its call simple and audible to us. It sings ever, and it is in no hurry. But our time is limited, our lives are short, and we may lose all without having heard that magical melody, without letting it play in our lives. No, we have no time to lose. We must listen right away, right here. The heart is calling. So let me read the last paragraph. But then, of course, the song alone is. Here and there do not matter any longer. As Bhagavan says, one then recognizes that it is not the self which is within the body. It is not the heart that is within the body. The entire universe is within the heart. However, before one becomes steadily aware of this, one must make the effort to listen to the call of the heart, which dances ever as pure bliss, as boundless love and peace, which sings ever as I. Why? To make its call simple and audible to us. It sings ever and it is in no hurry. But our time is limited. Our lives are short. And we may lose all without having heard that magical melody, without letting it play in our lives. No, we have no time to lose. We must listen right away, right here. The heart is calling. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana. When we listen to the heart, the call of the heart, it feels like we have to sit in dhyana and listen to it more and more. So let us allow the heart to take us within. We request Sri Dileep Simha to talk about self-enquiry and give us the practice of self-enquiry.
Namo Ramana. Dhyayet Sharada Chandra Sundaramukam Tamraravindeksham Bhaktabhishtavarabhaya Pradakaram Kaupinamathrojvalam Svatmanandarasarubhuti vivasham सर्वानवद्याङ्गकम् श्रीमन्तं श्रीरमणीश्वरं गुरुवरं योगासनाध्यासितं ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणीश्वरं ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणीश्वरम् ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणीश्वरम् हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रम् अहमिति साक्षात् आत्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिम्बतामच्युतव पवनचलनरोधा आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्। Namo Ramana. We will commence today's Atma Vichara by listening and meditating on Bhagavan's Upadesham. I'll be reading his Upadesham from the book Guruvachaka Kovai, and the topic which is being bestowed on us for the evening is called the greatness of Mauna. Verse number 1178. The many rivers flow towards the ocean and merge with it. Similarly, all the religions have as their goal merging with the ocean of Shivam, the ever full bliss of consciousness. As they, that is the religions, become wholly Shivam, there is no room for any differences among them. I repeat the verse. The many rivers flow towards the ocean and merge with it. Similarly, all the religions have as their goal merging with the ocean of Shivam, the ever full bliss of consciousness. As they, the religions, become wholly Shivam, there is no room for any differences among them. Here, generally we may take religion to be a Hindu religion, a Muslim religion, Christianity, Buddhism or Jainism. But a more deeper sense, when all of us are looking for only happiness, and that is nothing but Shivam. So we may be looking for it in any which way we may think to reach out to that happiness. So that becomes our religion, that belief in us, that practice in us becomes a religion. But the purpose of all of these religions is only to find the happiness and everlasting happiness. So Bhagavan is saying here, though these rivers appear to be different, but they are only flowing towards the ocean called Shivam. So, however, when in those rivers which are merged in the ocean and have become one with the ocean, the ocean itself doesn't see any differences in any religion. It is awaiting for the religion to join, the river of religion to join. Bhagavan further goes on to quote from Bhagavad Gita. It is taken from talk number, I think, 139, which says here, Bhagavan quoted from the Bhagavad Gita, I am the heart of all beings and I am their beginning, middle, and end. Bhagavan also said that the reality is only Mauna and quoted Tayamanvar. The quote goes like this: shining supreme, if we scrutinize all the religions that look so different, we find no contradiction in their purpose. They are all your sport, just as all rivers discharge into the sea, they all end in the ocean of Mauna. So, only in Mauna, this act of seeing differences, the act of contemplating on differences, finally subside. It is there the unity is found. It is recognized, or we can say, when we see the unity everywhere, then what remains is only Mauna, because there is no difference to comment or to judge anymore. So, as Bhagavan is saying, quoting here Thai Manavar, all religions look so different, but we find no contradiction in their purpose. They are all your sport. It is all Master's Leela to take different route. One may be an artist, one may be a poet, one may be a software engineer, one may be a priest, another may be a sannyasi, another may be a samsari. All of it is only Master playing out one religion, which is to move towards the self, towards that Shivam. And therefore, it will all culminate in that Mauna. And if when a river actually merges in the ocean, because it becomes Mauna, it sees no more any differences, says Bhagavan. This is the greatness of Mauna. It has been put as the greatness of Mauna by Bhagavan here. Therefore, Krishna says, as in Bhagavad Gita, he is the middle, he is the beginning, he is the middle, and he is the end. That means all of us are nothing but the sport of Krishna alone. Or, in the sense, whatever we are seeing, as long as we are seeing it different, it is only nothing but the sport of Krishna. And therefore, it is a movement of Krishna towards himself. Therefore, having recognized this, we can turn, having understood this is what is the game that is being played out, we can now leave that sport to be played as it has to be played. We can turn and merge in that Mauna, because here and now is the opportunity. Instead of commenting on the very superficial differences, though it is not really existing, it is because Krishna himself is in the beginning, middle, and end. Though it looks from person to person, it is different. Actually, it is no different. It is only Krishna who is in the beginning, middle, and end. So, all that we are seeing externally, it is all nothing but the sport of the Lord, but it is all towards the movement towards himself. Having understood that there is no difference outside anymore, we can turn to the undifferentiated self, which is shining as the self of all, the I of all, to the I, and remain and become one in that Mahamauna. And that is the only remedy for us, says Bhagavan here, and to experience the greatness of that Mauna, greatness of that one song which Sarada was saying ourselves to tune. We may listen to many other songs while we are tuning to it, but then finally we actually tune to that one song, to that Mauna. We see that that is what is outside, that is what is inside as well. And therefore, in the outside, it is playing the different dance, but it is all the dance of the Mauna. And inside, it is Mauna alone as the ocean, waiting for this dance to stop and merge. And therefore, the transistor, the tuning, the tuner is all nothing but Mauna. And having understood, then we start to enjoy that one song called the Mauna. The immense grace of Bhagavan, with which alone we have come to this most direct path. For the next 15 minutes, we will let us do Atma Vicharam. Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya Morna.
Namo Ramana. We will now have the sharing of Ramanacentre by Sri Ujwal Jagadeesh.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. We have been meditating on the verses of Ramanacentre written by Vasishta Ganapati Muni, and these have been compiled in this format by Bhagavan Ramana himself, and these are sung every day, they are chanted every day at the Sannidhi of Ramana at Ramaneshwara Mahalingam, and Srimati Sulochana Natarajan has compiled them and beautifully composed music for each of these verses. And Ganapati Muni in these verses says, Na karuna guna ramana tava vidampate ramana hridaya tejasa ramana sahaja vaivate ramana prasaratadita shubha vilokitam ramanate sakrit phalatu me kritam Ramana janminam ai bhavan guru avidashaya stava mahanuru jagadaham para spurati metrayam sadabidam gira tava visamshayam tvadupadeshato galati samvida mai niranyaya sadahamorbida ahami yontara stamamalam hridi anubhave mabho stava kripayadi ahami yontara stamamalam hridi anubhave mabho stava kripayadi ಕರುಣೆ ಗುಣವಲ್ಲ ರಮಣ ನಿನಗೆ ಒಡೆಯನೇ ರಮಣ ಹೃದಯದಿ ಹೊಳೆಯುವ ರಮಣ ಸಹಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪವೇ ರಮಣ ಹರಿಸು ನನ್ನೆಡೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಕರುಣೆ ನೋಟವ ರಮಣನೇ ಸುಕೃತವೋ ಫಲವ ಗಳಿಸಲಿ ರಮಣನೇ ಗುರು ಸಕಲ ಜೀವಕ್ಕೂ ಅಭೇದ ಅನಂತವೂ ನಿನ್ನ ಹೃದಯವು ಜಗಜೀವ ಪರ ಮೂರಾಗಿ ಸ್ಫುರಿಸದೆ ಏಕಾತ್ಮವಾಗಿದೆ ತವ ನುಡಿ ನಿಸ್ಸಂಶಯ ತ್ವದುಪದೇಶದಿ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಅರಳಿತು ನನಗೂ ಸತ್ಯಕ್ಕೂ ಇರುವ ಭೇದ ಅಳಿಯಿತು ಅಹಮಿನ ಮೂಲದ ನಿರ್ಮಲ ಹೃದಯದ ಅನುಭವವಾಗುವುದು ನಿನ್ನ ದಯೆಯಿಂದ ಅಹಮಿನ ಮೂಲದ ನಿರ್ಮಲ ಹೃದಯದ ಅನುಭವವಾಗುವುದು ನಿನ್ನ ದಯೆಯಿಂದ. Ganapati Muni, he starts these set of verses saying that, O Ramana, your grace is such that just by your compassionate glance, we get success for every good work that we do. If a devotee came and asked Bhagavan Ramana, we are doing the most best work that you say, the paramount duty of a human being. We are in the sadhana of understanding ourselves. Shouldn't your grace be full? Shouldn't we get help from your grace in our sadhana? And Ramana would reply, it is that very same grace which has brought you to this sadhana. And that very same grace will take you through and give the fruition to the sadhana. So have this complete faith and continue with the sadhana and understand that the Guru, the grace, the self are all synonyms for the same tattva, the same vastu, the same thing is called by different names. The Guru, God, and the Self, but they're all one and the same. And he adds, saying that the grace alone is there. Grace is in the beginning, grace is in the middle, and grace is at the end. So have this full faith that the compassionate glance of Ramana is ever seeing us through the sadhana. And Ganapati Muni continues, Ramana is showering his grace on everyone because he is the Guru for everyone. We may think that we are not capable of the compassion, we are not eligible to attain the compassion of Bhagavan Ramana. So to reveal this truth, long time back to Arunagiri Nadar. Arunagiri Nadar was a spendthrift. He used to spend all his money on wine and women and was wasting all his life. And the thing is, he was not working. It was his sister who used to work in every house, doing housework in every house and bringing the money. And Arunagirinathar used to take away that money from his sister and go and spend it on various things. And at one point of time, there is a transformation which happens, and Arunagirinathar realizes what mistake he is doing. He is living on the earning of his sister, and he has been such a waste to the whole world. So he thinks that he should give up his life. So he goes to the Arunachaleshwara temple. He climbs up the Raja Gopuram, the Gopuram, and he is ready to give up his life. When he is in that state, Muruga Subramanya comes and holds him in his hand. And then he gives a new life. And the Upadesha that he gives to Arunagirinathar is Summa Ire Sollara. Be as you are, without speaking. But Ramana, Muruganar Swami says, Muruga had to give 2 instructions, Summa Ire Sollara. But Ramana, just by giving the Upadesha, Summa Ire, be as you are. Many great seekers who are ripe have attained that supreme state of being. Not being this or not being that, but pure being. By the Upadesha of Ramana, they have attained that supreme state of pure being. The Sat Chit Ananda Sthiti they have experienced. In one of the recent satsangs, Sharada was talking about how the Tinne Swami, the Upadesha given by Bhagavan Ramana, was Ire. And by this Upadesha, Tinne Swami, he abided in that true state that he is. Such is the power of the Upadesha. And Ganapati Muni here says, O Ramana, by your Upadesha, by your instructions of getting back to our own true self, I have realized the truth. And I have understood that truth envelops everything. So I have seen this oneness of myself and this Jagat and Para, the divine, which permeates everything. Such is the power of your Upadesha. And by your Upadesha, the true knowledge is shining. And that true knowledge is making me understand that what I was searching for is not different from what I am. Ramana gives us if somebody is very, very disappointed and he says, Oh Bhagavan Ramana, I am such an ignorant. I do not understand. You need to bless me and give me jnana. Ramana used to, with a smile, with compassionate glance, used to say, what I see is only jnana. There is nothing else other than jnana. What needs to be done is we need to get over our false notion that we are ignorant. We need to get over our notion that we are holding on to, that we are this body, we are this mind, we are this intellect, we are this limited entity, this has to be dropped. When that is dropped, we understand that we are that truth we are searching for. There is a story of the Kasturi Mriga, which is given in the Shastras. This Kasturi Mriga is a special musk deer. And this musk deer, whenever the wind blows in the forest, it smells a beautiful fragrance. And this musk deer goes on searching for the fragrance everywhere. From where is this fragrance coming? What is the source of this fragrance? And it is running everywhere in the forest. And we have a beautiful depiction of this story in one of our dance ballets, where the musk deer is searching for the source of that fragrance, and the animals ask them, "Oh, musk deer, what are you searching for?" And musk deer replies, "I am searching for this nice fragrance. I'm feeling this whenever there is the wind blows. I feel this great, beautiful, sweet fragrance, and I'm searching for the source from a young age. Will you please help me find out this fragrance?" And the animals join in the search, and everybody is searching for the fragrance. And whenever the wind blows, everybody is able to smell that fragrance, but nobody is able to recognize what is the source of this fragrance. And at one point, a very, very wise parrot comes for the help. It knows the truth. Where is the source of this fragrance? But one may not understand it so easily. So the parrot gives some exercises to these to these animals who are searching for the source of the fragrance. It says, "Everybody move towards your right. And do you smell that fragrance?" They all nod their head. "Yes, yes, yes. We all smell the fragrance." "Now everybody move towards left. Now do you all smell the fragrance?" Everybody say, "Yes, yes, we all smell the fragrance." And now the parrot gives a new instruction. It says, "Spread out in different directions. And now tell me whether you are able to smell that fragrance." And all the animals move in different directions. And the musk deer also standing in the center and wondering, where are all these going? Where is the source of that fragrance? And now again the parrot asks, "Do you all smell that same fragrance?" All the animals says, "No, we don't smell that fragrance." But there is only one person who is nodding his head as always. He's telling, "Yes, I smell the fragrance just like how I was smelling all this while." And the parrot says, "What was that which was ever there?" It was you who were ever there. So you are the source of that fragrance. And it explains to that musk deer, "Oh musk deer, it is in your navel that there is this source of the musk, the kasturi fragrance. And it is your own smell that you experience every time the wind blows. So understand this. You are the source that you are searching for. And we are searching for that fragrance of happiness." And Ramana says, we are searching for that happiness everywhere in the world. And his Upadesha is, your own true nature is that happiness that we are searching for. So turn within. And turn within with a question, who am I? I am not this limited body and the mind and the intellect, which is so limited and only brings problems and sorrows and anxiety. I am the bliss which is limitless. So who am I? With this question, if one turns within diligently, one experiences one's own true nature, which is limitless bliss. And Ganapati Muni says, "Ahamina mulada nirmala hridayada ಅನುಭವವಾಗುವುದು ನಿನ್ನ ದಯೆಯಿಂದ ಅಹಮಿಯೋಂತರ ಸ್ತಮಮಲಂ ಹೃದಿ ಅನುಭವೇಮ ಭೋ ತವ ಕೃಪಾಯದಿ." Oh Ramana, if your kripa is there, if your compassion is there, then alone we can experience the source of the aham, the I thought that is arising within, that will sink into its source and it will enter the pure heart, and we will experience that bliss only when there is your kripa. So people would say, oh Ramana, your kripa is required. So what is the use of me doing any sadhana? It is your kripa which is going to show us the truth. So why need of any sadhana? This was the question which was asked by V. Ganesh and Nanna to Muruganar Swami. And Muruganar Swami used to said, oh, no escapism like this. You should do your work and the Guru will do his work. And to Devraj Mudaliyar, he came and told, oh Bhagavan, I am not like thee. There is two Nyayas, Markata Niti and Marjala Niti. Markata Niti is the monkey's kripa. The mother of the monkey, the little child monkey has to hold on to the mother tightly, and that mother monkey is going to climb from one tree to another tree. It is going to jump, and it is the duty of the child to hold on to the mother tightly. But in the Marjala Niti, the cat does not do any work. It is very, very ignorant and very, very tiny and helpless, and it is the mother cat which will hold the neck of the little kitten, and that takes it to a place which is safe, and that's how it takes care of the little cat. So the Devraj Mudaliyar says to Bhagavan Ramana, Bhagavan, I am like that cat. I am helpless. You need to take care of me. Ramana became very, very stern and he told, no, you should do your work. You should hold on to the mother monkey, just like how the monkey holds on to the sadhana. You need to hold on to your sadhana. And the Guru at the right time, he will bless you. He will bless you with that state that you are seeking. And Bhagavan Ramana gives this beautiful story, which is one of my favorite story, of a little sparrow. And that little sparrow has a nest in one tree and it thinks of shifting its house from one tree to the another tree. So it has created a new nest. I built a new nest in one more tree, and it is the process of transferring all the little eggs that it has in that earlier tree to the new tree. But between these two trees, there is a patch of ocean which is flowing. And in this process, when the sparrow is shifting the eggs from one nest to the other nest, one of its little egg falls into the ocean, and this sparrow is terrified and it quickly dives into the ocean, picks up a little water from in its little beak, and it is going to the beach and throwing away that water, and again rushing into the ocean, taking a little bit of water in its small beak and again throwing it away, and again coming and picking up little water and throwing it away. And this it has been doing from morning till the afternoon, till the late evening. And this is seen by Narada Maharshi, who is going that way. He's seeing that this little bird, with so much of diligence, it is doing this work. And it asks, what are you doing, O little bird? And the little bird tells it the truth, that the egg has fallen down, and I want to empty this ocean and get back my little egg which is fallen inside this ocean. So I am with great faith that I am going to empty this ocean. I am doing this work. And seeing that faith and that dedication of that little bird, Narada Maharshi prays to Garuda, Pakshi Raja Garuda. And the Garuda, listening to the prayers of Narada Maharshi, comes flapping his huge wings, and he listens to the story, what has happened, and he says, oh little bird, you are from my clan, so I am going to protect you. I am going to help you retrieve that egg. I have these huge wings, and I am going to flap these wings And when I'm going to flap these wings, the water from the ocean is going to reside back and your egg will be seen. So quickly pick up your egg, says the Garuda, and it does that in that way. And the sparrow picks up its little egg and keeps it back to its home. And this is what Ramana says, the sadhana that we do should be dedicated and we should be diligent, just like that sparrow which is ready to empty the ocean, which is impossible. Even by great effort, it is impossible to retrieve that egg, the self that we are searching for with our effort. But when our effort is diligent, the grace of the Guru in the form of Narada Maharshi comes, and there is this divine intervention. There is this divine grace which flows. The Guru and the God is not different. That grace of the Guru makes us understand the veil of these ignorance. It just spreads apart and we will have that experience of the self in the heart that we are all searching for, which is the source of the ego, will be realized, says Ganapati Muni, and he assures that that kripa is ever present. One needs to have full faith in that kripa of the Guru and continue our sadhana diligently, understanding fully that it is not in our hands to attain that supreme state, but that supreme state is ever available. We are not different from that supreme state that we are searching for, but it requires our sadhana. With that faith, Ramana tells us to continue our sadhana with lot of love. Santatam shalipara santoshamahave, without any tiresomeness, without any disappointment. One needs to continue the sadhana with love and joy, says Bhagwan Ramana in his Appalam Patti. With the prayers to Bhagwan Ramana to help us continue our sadhana lovingly, I offer these words to the feet of Bhagwan Ramana. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya.
Namo Ramana. We will now have the sharing of Ramana Ashtottaram, the verses of Ramana Ashtottaram by Dr. Sarada Rajan.
Namo Ramana. Prostrations to Ramana, shining as a self in all beings. By the immense grace of the self manifested as Ramana, we in this part of the satsang are meditating on the Ramana Ashtottara Shatanamavali composed by Vishwanatha Swami on Bhagavan, which is on the lines of Bhagavan's biography as well. And we are on the Nama Churnita Khila Vibhramaya Namaha, the one who destroyed or destroys all illusions. Of course, this Nama directly pertains to Bhagavan as the power of self-enquiry, which alone actually destroys all illusions, because it destroys the primary illusion that one is limited to a name and form, that one is a given identity. This primary illusion is destroyed by self-enquiry. And as Nandakumarji often says, Bhagavan is self-enquiry. Uma is the very embodiment of the Ramana Shakti. Sadhu Om Swami calls it the Shakti veil, like Lord Muruga carries the spear, the veil, the sacred veil, the destroyer of the asuras, the demons. This is Bhagavan's veil. Self-enquiry is the veil. In another song, he says that it is the Kodanda of Sri Rama, it is the bow of Sri Rama, the twang of the bow of Sri Rama is "Who am I?", which actually instills fear in the hearts of all demons and all his enemies. And it actually pierces into the heart of Ravana, who is the embodiment of the Ahankara, the arrow from such a bow of Rama. But in this verse, at this juncture, looking at it from the perspective of Bhagavan's biography, we had covered Bhagavan's stay at the Gurumurtam and the adjoining Chutavatyam Samasinaya Namah. And there, his uncle Nelliyappayar had come to see Bhagavan in order to take him back home. And if he had any illusion that he had persuasive powers of speech, then those illusions were completely shattered, because Bhagavan was unmoved by all of his pleas. In another sense also, Bhagavan destroyed his illusions or his mamakara, his thought that this nephew of his who was dear to him should at least be educated in the scriptures. His uncle had a notion that in order to have a high spiritual stature, one should be well educated in the scriptures. And nobody, of course, knew anything about Bhagavan. The very little, the first bit of knowledge that he revealed was that he belonged to Tiruchuri and his name was Venkatraman. And that piece of knowledge could bring his mother to him. But Bhagavan had not revealed anything else about his teacher. Despite this, right from the time when he was seated in the Patala Lingam, in the 1,000-pillared hall of the temple, under the Ilipai tree, and in other places at the temple and at Gurumurtam, seekers of truth were drawn to him. And great spiritual sadhakas, great spiritual sages. We have the instance of Achyutadasa coming to Bhagavan with his entourage of disciples as well. So there have been instances, there were continuously instances of the spiritual aspirants coming to Bhagavan and drinking in the fragrance of self-abidance that just radiated from him. But at the same time, nobody knew how old he was, whether he was educated, whether he knew anything about the scriptures. And other sadhus of Tiruvannamalai in the early years had their own issues with this young sage who seemed to be attracting all the people without even so much as moving an inch, without, of course, speaking a word, by just being in that supreme state. So people did not speak highly of him. Nelliyappayar inquired of one such sadhu whether this young boy, this young sage in the mango orchard was scripturally well read, whether he had a good foundation in Vedanta, and he was told that it was not the case. He was told that Bhagavan knew nothing at all about the scriptures. Yes, he was intense in his seeking at that particular point of time, but because he did not have a good scriptural foundation, one could not say how long his tapas would last, whether it had a steady and stable foundation could not be told. So, in one sense. The mamakara, the aspect of attachment which his paternal uncle, his elder Chittappa, Telliyapayar, had towards him, was shattered. Perhaps Nelliyapayar would later realize that scriptural learning was not of significance. At the same time, later, out of his great compassion, Bhagavan revealed to him that he was indeed the essence of all knowledge, including scriptural knowledge. But that happened much later. At this point of time, all illusions were shattered. And the next to come was Mother Alagamma, because she believed that this child of hers could not refuse her motherly plea, her loving plea. Maybe Nelliyapayar's plea was a little intellectual, but her plea would be full of a mother's love. But she met with this stone-like Venkataraman. She met with this boy who almost did not resemble her son in any way, including the fact that he was not at all responsive towards her. He was completely unresponsive. Churnita Akhila Vibramaya Namaha. So he destroyed the thought that I am his mother, and he also has a special place in his heart for me. Bhagavan actually destroys all our illusions. Akhila Vibramaya Namaha. And that is his greatest love. That is his greatest compassion. Because it is in the destruction of all the illusions that the true knowledge is regained. So what did he do for Mother? He actually destroyed her illusions at that point of time, and again later when she came to stay with him, gradually he emphasized this breakage of the mamakara. We have two aspects of bondage in us. One is said to be the ahankara, the sense of I-ness. I am this body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, I am my emotions. The other is the mamakara, the one which says this belongs to me, this is dear to me. And Bhagavan is destroying Akhila Vibhrama. So for some of us, the mamakara will be stronger, and for some, the ahankara will be stronger. In a mother, the mamakara is much stronger than the ahankara. A mother does not mind facing any number of difficulties for the sake of her children. She will not mind giving up or making any sacrifice for the sake of her children. She does not want any harm to touch her children. And most importantly, she is very keen on feeding her children, because that is how the mother starts. The first bond between the mother and the child is the mother feeding the child. So these things are very important for the mother. And here Bhagavan was eroding all these aspects. He was sitting there on a rock. It was a hard rock, the hard floor, and under the glare of the Arunachala sun, the Tiruvannamalai sun, that heat. Even in December, it must have been quite hot. When mother would climb up and come to him, and here he was. And her mother's heart found it very difficult. And he was unbathed. Mother likes her children to be tidy. A speaker on spiritual literature, he was sweetly saying, he said that mother is the one who has to bathe the child, get the child ready. And once the child is ready and very sweet and not dirty anymore, if the child has gone into the mud and played and come, it will not be the father, he says, who picks up the child. It will be the mother who picks up the child, washes the child, makes the child, powders the child, maybe combs the hair, maybe gets the face. If it's a girl child, puts on a sweet dress, puts on some jewels. Or if it's a boy child also, puts on a nice tilaka and, gets the child ready in a very cherubic manner. And then the father will embrace the child. That, he says, is how God is like the father and Guru is like the mother who cleanses us and makes us fit for or acceptable to, pure enough to be taken into the arms of God. Now the mother wants, so therefore, to clean her child to be clean, to be pretty, or to be smart. And here is this young boy, who was looking so smart with his glorious hair, and now the hair is matted, the nails are long and curled, the whole body is covered with grime and dust. So the entire role of the mother is nullified by Bhagavan over here. He is eating whatever people bring to him. The entire the role which she is playing as a mother is brought to zero. Very often we have to understand that any role which we play in life actually tantamounts to zero. There is no significance in any of the actions or the roles we play. This does not mean that we become indifferent to it. When we understand that all the roles are actually played only by the Supreme One, by that power alone, and in accordance with the story of the divine, in accordance with the divine plan. So when it is part of the divine plan that we have to contribute in any way to anyone or any situation, then and then alone does it happen and not otherwise. That's why Bhagavan gave to Mother Alagamma the written Upadesha. Avaravar Prapta Pragaram Adarkanavan Angangirund Attavipan. Okay. Nothing is happening because of you, O Mother. Nothing is happening because of me. It is not that your pleas are in vain, and if they had been heard, it is not that your pleas have been heard. Nothing happens because of you or me or anyone else in this world. Everything is happening because of the divine ordainment. Our prapta pragaram, according to the destiny. According to your destiny, the Supreme One moves you. According to the destiny of this person sitting over here, the Supreme One moves this entity as well. The same holds for every being in this world. And don't hold the illusion that anything can happen. Nothing is moving because of anybody. How can anything happen because of your will? Or how can anything be stopped because of your will? So, நடவாதது என் முயற்சிக்கினும் நடவாது. What will not happen will never happen, O Mother. So the breaking of an illusion that something may happen, this may happen, that may happen if I make an effort. No. And can we stop anything, good or bad? Not that either. நடப்பது என் தடை செய்யினும் நில்லாது இதுவே திண்ணம். Everything is taken away at one go. And when the Akhila Vibhrama, all illusions have thus been destroyed, what remains? The silence remains. And that is the best course, meaning to say, it is a good course. It is the best thing. It is the most auspicious thing that can happen. Maunamai irukkai nandru. Nandru means it is good. It is good to follow the path, or it is most auspicious to remain in that silence, says Bhagavan. And it is his work with every being to destroy all illusions and establish them in the silence of the self. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramana.
Namo Ramana. We will now have the chanting of Aksharamanamalai by Srimati Radha and Vallabh Srinivasa.
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala mena ahame ninai pavarahatai verarupan, Arunachala. அழகு சுந்தரம் போல் அகமும் நீயும் முற்று அபிநமாயிருப்போம் அருணாச்சலம். அகம்பூகும் தீர்த்தும் ஆகுவை சிறையாய் அமர்வித்ததென் கொல் அருணாச்சலா. ஆருக்காவென்னை ஆடனை அகற்றிடில் அகிலம் பழித்திடும் அருணாச்சலா. இப்பழி தப்புனையே நினைப்பிட்டு இனி யார் விடுவார் அருணாச்சலம். ஈன்றிடும் அன்னையிற் பெரிதருள் புரிவோர் இதுவோ உனதருள் அருணாச்சலம். உனையே மாற்றி ஓடாதுள்ள பின்மேல் உறுதியாயிருப்பாய் அருணாச்சலா. ஊர் சுற்றுளம் விடாதுன்னை கண்டடங்கிட உன் அழகை காட்டருணாச்சலம். என்னை அழித்து போதென்னை கலவாவிடில் இதுவோ ஆண்மை அருணாச்சலா. ஏன் இந்த உறக்கம் என்னை பிறரிழுக்க இது உனக்கழகோ அருணாச்சலா. ஐம்புல கல்வர் அகத்தினில் புகும் போது அகத்தில் நீ இல்லையோ அருணாச்சலா. ஒருவனாம் உன்னை ஒழித்தவர் வருவார் உன் சூதே இது அருணாச்சலம். அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. 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 அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சலம் வாழி வாழி. அக்ஷரமணமாலை Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana. We will conclude today's satsang with the Ashtottara puja to Bhagavan at Dileep Simha's altar. The Ashtottaram will be chanted by Vaibhavji, Prarthana, Uma and Ashwini.
नमो रमण भारद्वाज विश्वनाथ विरचितं श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तर शतनामावलिः अपार सच्चित् सुखवारिराशे यस्योनिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं रवीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। ॐ महासेन महुंसेन जाताय नमः। ॐ श्रीरमणाय नमः। ॐ गुरवे नमः। ॐ अखण्डसंविदाकाराय नमः। ॐ महौजसे नमः। ॐ कारणोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ जगद्धितावताराय नमः। ॐ श्रीभूमिनाथस्थलोस्थिताय नमः। ॐ पराशरकुलोत्तंसाय नमः। ॐ सुन्दरार्यतपःफलाय नमः। ॐ कमनीयसुचारित्राय नमः। ॐ सहायाम्बा सहायवते नमः। ॐ शोणाचलमहोलीनमानसाय नमः। ॐ स्वर्णहस्तकाय नमः। ॐ श्रीमद्द्वादशान्तमहास्थले लब्धविद्योदयाय नमः। ॐ महाशक्तिनिपातेन प्रबुद्धाय नमः। ॐ परमार्थविदे नमः। ॐ तीव्राय नमः। ॐ पितृपदान्वेषिणे नमः। ॐ इन्दुमौलिना पितृमते नमः। ॐ पितुरादेशतः शौर्णशैलं प्राप्ताय नमः। ॐ तपोमयाय नमः। ॐ उदासीनाय नमः। ॐ महायोगिने नमः। ॐ महोत्साहाय नमः। ॐ कुशाग्रदिये नमः। ॐ शान्तसङ्कल्पसम्भ्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुसन्दृशे नमः। ॐ सवित्रे नमः। ॐ स्थिराय नमः। ॐ तपक्षपितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः। ॐ फुल्लाम्बुजविलोचनाय नमः। ॐ चन्द्रिकासितहासश्रीमण्डिताननमण्डलाय नमः। ॐ चूतवाट्यां समासीनाय नमः। ॐ चूडिताखिलविभ्रमाय नमः। ॐ वेदवेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञाय नमः। ॐ चिन्मुद्रिणे नमः। ॐ त्रिगुणातीताय नमः। ॐ विरूपाक्षगुहावासाय नमः। ॐ विराजदशनाकृतये नमः। ॐ उद्दीप्तनयनाय नमः। ॐ पूर्णाय नमः। ॐ रचिताचलताण्डवाय नमः। ॐ गम्भीराय नमः। ॐ परमाचार्याय नमः। ॐ सुप्रसन्नाय नमः। ॐ अभयप्रदाय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणास्य निभाय नमः। ॐ धीराय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणाभिमुखाय नमः। ॐ स्वराजे नमः। ॐ महर्षये नमः। ॐ भगवते नमः। ॐ ईद्याय नमः।
ॐ भूमविद्याविशारदाय नमः। ॐ विमलाय नमः। ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः। ॐ आप्ताय नमः। ॐ ऋजुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः। ॐ समदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्याय नमः। ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः। ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः। ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः। ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः। ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः। ॐ श्रीशोणाचलोद्भूतस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः। ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेष्ट्रे नमः। ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः। ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः। ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्छिन्नसंशयाय नमः। ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः। ॐ रसज्ञाय नमः। ॐ सौम्याय नमः। ॐ आत्मवते नमः। ॐ सर्वावनिमतस्थानाम् आराध्याय नमः। ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः। ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः। ॐ महाभागाय नमः। ॐ मातृमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः। ॐ विनताय नमः। ॐ विनुताय नमः। ॐ विप्राय नमः। ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः। ॐ पावकोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ दर्शनादगसंहारिणे नमः। ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः। ॐ ऋच्छान्तिकरसान्निध्याय नमः। ॐ स्मरणात्मन्दमोचकाय नमः। ॐ अन्तस्तिमिरचण्डांशवे नमः। ॐ संसारार्णवतारकाय नमः। ॐ शोणाद्रीशस्तुतिद्रष्टे नमः। ॐ हार्दविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः। ॐ अविच्युतनिजप्रज्ञाय नमः। ॐ नैसर्गिकमहातपसे नमः। ॐ कमण्डलुधराय नमः। ॐ शुभ्रकौपीनवसनाय नमः। ॐ गुहाय नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। ॐ कृपापूर्णाय नमः। ॐ भवरोगविषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवतमाय नमः। ॐ अमर्त्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः।
ॐ श्रीरमण भगवते नमः। श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तरशतनामपूजां समर्पयामि। यस्थाणोररुणाचलस्य पदयोः स्मृत्या जनिं प्राप्य तत् दिव्यानुग्रहसुप्रवाहविवशस्तादात्म्यभावं गतः हृन्निष्ठस्वगभीरनित्यतपसा लोकान् पुनास्येकराट् तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नम इदं लोकोत्तरज्योतिषे। नमो 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 रमण सदाशिवप्रभावरण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि दर्शनसुखमङ्गलमुख सकलजीवहितसम्मुख ब्रह्मसङ्गिये सदा तुष्ट सदा हृष्ट सदा शिवानन्दपुष्ट परममहर्षि ब्रह्मनिष्ठ समदर्शी नमो 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 रमण सदाशिवप्रभावरण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि ನಮ್ಮ ಮನವದೊಂದು ಕಾಡು ನೀನರಿತಿಹೆ ಅದರ ಜಾಡು ಹಿತವನರಿತು ನೀಡುತ್ತೆಮ್ಮ ಕೊರೆಯ ತಣಿಸಲೈ ಬೇಡಲೆಂದು ಬಂದ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿಯೇ ತಣಿವೆವಯ್ಯ ಮೋಡಿಗಾರನೇ ಹಿತವನುಡಿದು ಪೊರೆ ನಮ್ಮನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಂಘಿಯೇ. ನಮೋ 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 ರಮಣ ಸದಾಶಿವ ಪ್ರಭಾವರಣ. ನಮೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ ನಮೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ. ನಮೋ 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 ರಮಣ ಸದಾಶಿವ ಪ್ರಭಾವರಣ. ನಮೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ ನಮೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ. बोलो भगवान श्री रमण महर्षि की जय.
जय